It's clear post-crisis that Europe needs growth, and capital markets create growth, and AFME is the voice of Europe's capital markets.
AFME was really founded as a response to the dreadful events of the financial crisis and the turmoil that it created in the real economies of Europe.
In 2009, there wasn't a single pan-European body representing Europe's capital markets players, so very sensibly a group of trade groups got together and said, why don't we create a single voice for the industry?
Speaking as Dutchman and working for an American institution, it's very heartening to see that there's an institution like AFME that's out there representing all different views and all different opportunities that capital markets have for European investors.
Capital markets are key for the functioning of the European economy because these are providing a market to the financing of products. And there's no market, there's no financing of products, and there's no financing of products, there's no growth.
AFME can help in developing capital markets and thereby creating growth in the EU by getting the message across that there is a need to develop an equity culture, a risk culture, on the continent especially.
The AFME Growth Report actually established the 50 key findings that were needed across the industry. And that went on to bridging the growth gap, where we looked at the difference between US and European markets.
The AFME proposition is quite simple. Do you want to be part of an organisation that is able to get in front of the most important policymakers, whether they be in Brussels or the member states, and put forward the case for stable, competitive, sustainable capital markets?
The banking industry together is vital to ensure that a strong economy actually ensures that we have a strong banking system. The priorities of AFME are really to allow the industry to speak with a single voice, to ensure that we together face into a lot of the challenges that the industry is facing at this moment in time, but more importantly we overcome those to ensure that we serve our clients right across the industry.
With what's happening these days on banks regulations, with the, let's say, the extra capital that is requested, it will prevent banks to finance these SMEs as much as they want to. So they need to find an extra source of financing, and this extra source of financing is called capital markets.
Capital Markets Union is essentially quite a simple concept. In Europe, there are pools of savings, people's savings for pensions, people's savings over a lifetime, and they are together in one place. And the key is to take those savings and turn them into investments in the real economy. So think of it in terms of moving towards a situation where there is one market for capital in Europe, but essentially there's no reason why 500 million people in Europe can't all be part of enabling those pools of savings to be converted into investments, whether it's in small companies, medium companies, infrastructure projects.
EU institutions and the Commission in particular value associations that provide meaningful input that can really enlighten the debate.
Well, it's much easier for me as a politician to go in and argue a particular line if I have evidence and data to back it up. And I do have a network of people and network of organisations that I trust to give me advice impartially when I actually require it. Ultimately, I think organisations like AFME have really started to build a good reputation in Brussels.
Trust and confidence is critical for well-functioning liquid wholesale capital markets, and the industry is working exceptionally hard to maintain the integrity so that capital markets are trusted by policymakers and citizens in Europe.
Following the crisis, there is clearly a big need for trade associations like AFME to explain the social usefulness of banks and capital markets.
Public trust took a great hammering at the time of the crisis, and it's going to be a long journey back. And I think we have to be realistic that there's an awful lot still to do. But actually, it's about reminding people everything that's changed since then. Banks are better managed, there's better risk management, governance is better, capital is bigger. It would be great to be able to look back and say Capital Markets Union is a reality, because genuinely this is a big idea, and if together with other industry bodies and members we can really make a difference to cracking this problem of sustainable economic growth in Europe through opening up Europe's capital markets, that would be a really significant achievement.